Hello everybody, welcome to Venice Inventors tutorial class. Today we're going to talk about some of the components that we use when we do electronics. These are some of the components that we most commonly use. We have resistors, capacitors, diodes, LEDs, transistors, potentiometers, switches, relays, wires, fuses, breakers, motors, printed circuit boards, integrated circuits, and piezo. Here we have the resistors, which resist the flow of electricity, which in turn lowers the voltage. Capacitors stores electricity, which in turn makes the voltage higher. Diodes allow the electricity only in one direction. LEDs, light-emitting diodes, allows electricity only in one direction and also emits light. And now Genius Alex, my mentor, is going to explain you the rest.
Alright, nice rings by the way.
Thank you. You don't have.
No, I don't. Okay, so here we have transistors. Transistors are like switches, but there's no moving part. They're electrically controlled. They can let the power pass through or not. Then we have potentiometers. Potentiometers are like variable resistors. You just turn the knob or the screw and the voltage increases or decreases. It's really the current, but it's measured as the voltage. Then there's switches. These are mechanical switches. There's a little sliding switch, there's a push switch and another push switch with an extension. Okay, here we have relays. So there's two types of relays. There's the typical relays, which are a coil with a magnet, or actually the coil creates a magnetic field, and you can use a low power source to control a higher power source, so you can turn things on and off by applying electricity to one side of it. And there's a solid state relays, which are similar to transistors, but usually they can handle much greater loads, like turn on a light bulb or something like a motor, but they're basically the same as a transistor. These are the wires. In electronics you're always going to need wires, so you always want to have some wires. Okay, so here we have fuses. Fuses only allow a certain amount of power, and if too much power goes through they burn out, so they cut the circuit before something really bad happens. And then we have breakers. The breakers do the same thing, but they will reset themselves. So they basically get hot, they cut the connection, and when they cool down they allow the connection again. And then here we have motors. So, well, you probably know motors just spin when you apply electricity to them. And then a very, very useful part of electronics is printed circuit boards, or PCBs. Printed circuit boards are basically a way to not use wires, and you can make your circuits a lot smaller using those boards. Then we have integrated circuits, which are also called chips or ICs, and they're basically containing tiny versions of all these components inside, typically resistors, capacitors, diodes, and transistors, all contained in a very, very small little package. So there's different kinds. The more advanced type, which has many pins because it has many functions, and the simpler types that might have 4, 8, 16 pins. And finally we have piezo elements, which are speakers, and they're a little metal plate with a magnet, and when you apply power it causes the plate to vibrate.